bring to you a report on what to do in case of heavy rain. There's nothing like preparation when it comes to torrential downpour. Isn't that right?
That's right. You must turn off your gas and electricity and quickly evacuate from areas vulnerable to flash flooding.
What should we do if we are already outside?
Evacuate to a safe place, away from construction sites, underground spaces, and areas prone to frequent flooding. If you're driving, do not stop the car. Instead, slowly drive through the flooded area without stopping.
What should we do once the rain stops?
When going into buildings that have been submerged, do not touch electrical facilities and make sure to ventilate, as there is a risk of gas leakage.
We should also reduce preventable damages and prepare for disasters ahead of time by following safety guidelines.
That is correct. You can receive real-time safety information through the Disaster Safety Information mobile app, 안전 디딤돌.
Thank you for all the great information. Remember, your safety is everyone's safety. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM 부산 영어방송.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
The temperatures, they have cooled down just a little tad. And I think we're all enjoying the early morning and evening breeze. With a light, the slight temperature reprieve, something else has popped up on the radar though. Mosquitoes. The number of mosquitoes is going up. So normally we're used to getting mosquito bites during the height of summer. However, mosquitoes, they are really smart. They don't like the blazing summer heat either. So as we're cooling down weather-wise, temperature-wise, are we gonna have to brace for mosquito season now? I'm Catherine. This is Morning Wave in Busan on Wednesday, September 17th on BEFM 부산 영어 방송. Good morning, Wavers. I hope you're all doing well. I began today's, opening with mosquitoes. I normally don't get mosquito bites, but I have noticed quite a few, at least at school in Saha where I do teach, especially in the restrooms, the public restrooms. So I just wanted to talk about something, in our daily lives that we can all kind of, complain about. So I certainly hope the mosquitoes are held at bay and hopefully we can get rid of all of them real soon. But today's main story has to do with the South Korean government declaring a war against industrial accidents, with the goal of lowering the country's fatal workplace accidents to the OECD average by the year 2030. And by the way, South Korea's fatal industrial accident rate sits at 0.39 for every 10,000 people, compared to the OECD average of 0.29. And Busan City has a higher than average rate in a country that already has a high rate for these fatal accidents. According to data from the Labor Ministry, last year, 96 people died in Busan from workplace accidents. And what's notable here is that 77 of them, or 80%, were from small and mid-sized companies with under 50 employees, including 30 from companies with 5 or fewer employees. This rate of 80% fatalities from SMEs is far higher than the national average of 62%. And experts say that Busan's businesses are structurally vulnerable, as a high number of small businesses creates a relatively big gap in application of labor laws and subsequently punishment. And the reason is that these smaller businesses are often more susceptible to industrial accidents. The reason is this: they often don't have the resources to implement safety management systems. given these realities, those in the labor field call for these small businesses with under 5 employees to still be subject to labor standards and the Serious Accident Punishment Act, the SAPA, which they are exempt from under the current law. And then those on the business side say that, expanding these requirements will put a heavy burden on these smaller businesses and instead call for government support to expand these preventive measures. So these issues are real, right? But it's also the reality that almost 100 people died on the job in Busan, and changes need to happen quickly. Because what is our goal? I mean, we talk about bringing the average down, but we want it to be 0. We don't want to talk about workplace accidents leading to death. Anyhow, that is the main story for today. And now, let's get to our text topic. Are you ready? It's a light one today, so here we go. What is the last movie you saw in the theater? And your favorite movie snack. And it might differ. If you're in Korea, the snacks here are quite different from, for example, in the US. So we want to hear about that. 내가 마지막으로 영화관에서 본 영화. So actually going to a theater to watch a movie, not in the comfort of your own home. And 최애 영화관 간식은 뭘까요? So let's get our, stomachs ready. We're all going to be hungry talking about all these snacks, but it's okay. You can send in your messages to BEFM's live stream live chat on YouTube. Go to the YouTube platform and type in BEFM or Busan 영어 방송 to find us first. You can subscribe and you can log in to chat with other waivers. From your phone, pound 9050, 샵 9050. That's going to cost you 100 won. You can also reach me for free through Kakao Talk. And to find us, same thing there, type in BEFM or 부산 영어 방송. Add us as a friend, and then you can send in your messages and photos too. And the ways you can tune into our program, Morning Wave in Busan, through the radio here in Busan, 90.5 or 103.3 FM. Like I said, we're streaming live right now. You can watch at your leisure. And we are available on the BEFM app and the Popbang app as well. All right, let's look ahead to our Wednesday together. We have in the first hour, Lian coming in for Now and Next. And hour number 2, Jennifer for Work in Progress. For our special interview today, this is a hot topic because, yes, running, the enthusiasm for running in Korea, it is still hot. This is something that I think is going to be here for a long time. It's not just a flash in the pan, something real trendy. And we're going to talk about how this is, really involving a lot of people now. Not just like, oh, I know a runner. Like there are even people within our station. There's like a running crew going on. So that's how popular it is. However, we need to know what kind of gear we need, how to do it properly, and how we can benefit from running. So we're going to learn about that in hour number 2. And I'll be back with news overview. It's now 7:07. This is news overview. Court approves arrest warrant request for PPP lawmaker Kwon Sung-dong. Seoul Central District Court approved the arrest warrant for People Power Party lawmaker Kwon Sung-dong for his alleged role in orchestrating relations between the former Yoon Suk-yeol government and the Unification Church. Presidential office presents policy tax. He says power comes from the people. President Lee Jae-myung convened a cabinet meeting yesterday where he said he will call on his new cabinet members to not mistake their authority or powers as their own, but that they come from the people. Prime Minister says $350 billion investment to the U.S. may require parliamentary ratification. Prime Minister Kim Min-seok said that ratification may be necessary to fulfill the government's $350 billion pledge to the U.S. once the negotiations are completed during a parliamentary interpellation session yesterday. Police disclose identity of Seoul stabbing murder suspect. The Seoul Metropolitan Police yesterday released the information of suspect Kim Dong-won, who allegedly stabbed 3 people to death at a pizza shop in Gwangju District, Seoul, earlier this month. Israel launches ground offensive in Gaza. Israel began its ground offensive in Gaza City on Tuesday local time with tanks and remote-controlled armored cars taking over the streets with hundreds of thousands of civilians still in the city. This was News Overview. It's time for Now Busan. We have Sejin in the studio. Let's say hi first. Good morning. Happy Hump Day.
Hump Day. Oh, it was Hump Day. It is Hump Day.
Yes, it is indeed Hump Day because it's Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
So let's get to our text topic. What's the last movie that you saw in the theater, and what's your favorite snack?
I don't even remember the name of the movie that I watched because it was Japanese anime, and the boy insisted. So I just was
The boy.
Yeah.
Who is this?
I don't know.
Boy. Okay.
Yeah. And I don't really snack.
Oh, you don't eat snacks in the movie theater?
No.
Oh, we're learning so many things about Sejin today. We learned about the boy, and she doesn't snack. All right, let's jump into this is very much related to our text topic because the Busan International Film Festival is opening today, right?
Yes. Now in its 30th year, the Busan International Film Festival opens today. Over the next 10 days, events are happening all across the city, including at Busan Cinema Center, Santam City, and Nampo-dong.
Yes, and the opening ceremony, the flower, when is it happening?
It kicks off at 6 p.m. today at the Busan Cinema Center's outdoor theater. This year, they're screening 241 films from 64 countries. That's 17 more than last year, alongside 87 community BIFF films and 32 BIFF everywhere films.
Yes. So I hear that there's something new this year for BIFF.
Yes, the festival introduced an official competition section for the first time since its founding. Organizers have invited 14 major Asian films, which they say will be a real breath of fresh air in the global film industry.
Yes. So in terms of what's going on here, I hear that there's going to be a lot of jam-packed programs. So what else can festival goers look forward to?
The Busan Awards are brand new this year. They will be recognizing winners in the 5 categories: Grand Prize, Best Director, Special Jury Award,
Yes.
Best Actor, and Best Artistic Contribution. The opening film will be a director Park Chan-wook's hit film, No
Yes.
Other Choice. And the closing film will be the winner of the Busan Award Grand Prize.
And so, like I said, what can we look forward to?
They're expanding community BIFF. That's an audience-driven and experiential celebration of cinema.
Yes.
And BIFF Everywhere that brings the festival across Busan. Plus, they will have open cinema that's an outdoor screening, actors' house, and masterclass with filmmakers, and a special talks on film topics. And from the 20th to 23rd,
Yes.
2025 Asia Contents and Film Market will be held on the Pexco Second Exhibition Hall and online platform.
I see. So once again, it is opening tonight. So it's a really exciting time. Celebration of cinema plus our city, Busan, as well. All right, next, let's talk about some major news regarding the Busan subway strike. What's going on?
On the 16th, so yesterday, Busan Subway Labor Union and Management struck a tentative deal in this final talk covering wages. So the union called off the strike that was scheduled to begin with the first train this morning. At the Nopo Depot in Kumjong district, the two sides held marathon talks that lasted 6 hours. And in the end, they reached a tentative agreement.
Yeah, so what did they exactly agree on?
In short, the deal means a 3% raise plus extra allowance on top. Workers will also get their retroactive pay and performance pay back in January. If you've been with their company less than a year, your time still count towards severance pay. And the rules for family allowance will now be the same as for government workers.
Ah, well, it's quite detailed, this plan. So what about the subsidiary company?
The labor and management of Busan Metro Operation Services Corporation also reached a deal on the same day, introducing a 5-day work week starting next year and hiring 50 more staff.
Yes.
The union will soon hold a delegates meeting to solicit opinions on the tentative agreement. Once the agreement is approved at the delegates convention, they plan to sign a formal agreement.
Right, and if this goes through, how significant would that be?
It would mean Busan Transportation Corporation, or BTC, keeps its strike-free record for 6 consecutive years since the last strike in 2019.
Okay.
And President Lee Byung-jin of BTC said that the tentative deal was a result of both sides putting citizens first.
Ah, yes. So definitely good news for the citizens, but hopefully for the sides as well. All right, now let's talk about Busan landing a major international academic event. What is this?
Yes, Busan City will host the International Congress of Industrial and Applied Mathematics, or ICIAM, known as Olympics for Industrial and Applied Mathematicians.
Okay.
Busan was selected as the host city for the 2031 ICIAM, beating Boston in the US and Brisbane in Australia at a recent meeting in Hanoi, Vietnam.
Ooh, so we need to know more about this organization, ICIAM. What exactly do they do?
This conference is the biggest international academic conference in the field of industrial applied mathematics held every 4 years. And it's attended by approximately 5,000 industrial applied mathematicians, researchers, and industry professionals from around the world. Basically, think of it as a forum where mathematics is applied to tackle real-life issues from society to industry, using math theory and analytical methods.
Yes, so we have a better idea of what it is, this conference. Is this kind of like a major deal?
It is a big deal because the last big math congress here was in Seoul in 2014. So this will be the first in 17 years. The 2031 ICIAM will be held on Mexico in Busan for 6 days from June 22 to 2031.
Yes, yes.
And Mayor Park Hyung-jun said he would not spare any admin or financial support to ensure the successful hosting of the competition.
All right, so that is coming up in 2031, but Busan has won the bid. All right, now let's talk about Busan building something new for middle-aged and older residents. What is this?
Yes, on the 16th, so yesterday, Busan City signed an agreement to establish Haha campus with Catholic University of Busan, the Korea Advancing Schools Foundation, and Kumjang District. Haha is an abbreviation of Happy Aging, Healthy Aging. Haha campus is a complex that will make use of idle university facilities to promote a healthy and active retirement life for middle-aged.
I see. So how will each group be involved in this?
Busan City will be in charge of running the project. University will provide school facilities free of charge. The foundations is backing it with admin and institutional support.
Sure.
And Kumjang District is the one building a national sports center on campus. The plan is to build a senior complex integrating culture and leisure, health and sports, education, jobs, housing, and services for older adults.
Yes. So did the mayor make any remarks on this?
He said the Haha campus could be the new model for regional coexistence that can simultaneously tackle the lack of public facilities for an aging population and the falling student numbers at local universities.
I see. So thank you for telling us about the Haha campus. And now I hear there is exciting news for baseball fans here in Busan.
Yes, the Baseball Hall of Fame Baseball Museum, which commemorates the 120-year history of Korean baseball, began construction on the 16th, so yesterday.
Yes. So let's talk about how this project came about.
This project began in 2011 as the Korean Baseball 100th Anniversary Commemorative Project promoted by the Korea Baseball Organization, or KBO, and was jointly hosted by the Busan City and Gyeongsang County. Busan City provided construction costs, Gyeongsang County provided the land, and the KBO secured exhibit and they aim to finish the project by October next year.
Oh, that's pretty soon. When can visitors expect, what can they expect inside? What to see?
This place displays over 49,000 baseball items from the KBO's collection.
Yes.
In the Hall of Fame, visitors can explore the birth and growth of Korean baseball,
Sure.
from its amateur roots to the professional era. They can also experience memorable game moments and historic records.
So of course, this is going to be right here in Busan. Amazing to hear about. And it's a wrap for today's local news. We'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Sajin.
Thank you so much.
All right, I'll be back with your traffic and weather.
Good morning.
Good morning.
굿모닝입니다.
Good morning.
좋은 아침입니다.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
Major news, local buzz, and expert takes. It's all here on Morning Wave in Busan. Brighten up your morning commute with Morning Wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
It's now 7:19. Here's your traffic report. We have a cargo truck that is broken down on Shinseonlo from the 49th Square to the Nambu Myeoneo 시험장, that intersection right there. It's backed up on the Dongso overpass from Munhyun ramp to Jinyang Bangham Tunnel, and again from Bomnukgo ramp to the old Gaegeum tollgate. It's backed up on Gwanmun-daero from Bangham Tunnel to Baegang Tunnel. And that top portion of Gwangham Bridge, it is backed up right now. It's looking slow on Luno Samsung-daero from Myeongji Underpass to Shino Bridge. Currently it's 26 degrees Celsius under clear skies. The daytime high is expected to go up to 32 today. Possible showers later on in the evening. There is a heat wave impact preliminary report and a heat wave special weather report in effect right now. Across the nation, rain is forecast, currently raining in the central region, and Jeonbuk with heavy rain forecast for southern Gyeonggi and western Chungnam. This was your traffic and weather. This is Top Stories. We have Haley in the studio. Hello. Good morning. Well, we're talking about, obviously, movies today.
Happy Fifth Day.
So what's the last movie that you saw in the theater and your favorite snack?
I think it was Mickey 17 by Bong Joon-ho, right?
Yes.
Whereas I know it had mixed reviews, but I liked it. I quite liked it. And then for snacks, I am actually not a huge fan of popcorn either. I was a braces kid. 도정기, anyone? And then we're not explicitly not allowed to eat popcorn, and I did. That's like one rule I followed because the kernels get stuck in your teeth. So I was never really. It just put me off. So I actually don't really like the movie theater snacks. I like snacking in the movie theater, but I don't like the snacks that they sell at the movie theater, like popcorn, nachos, hot dogs, or corn dogs. I'm more like gummies, sour gummies. Yeah, right. So I usually, because you are allowed to bring in outside food. Not that I didn't when it was banned, but you know, let's say la vie. But yeah, I would go to the convenience store, buy a bag of gummies and coffee. And yeah, that's my snack.
Your own snacks.
Yes.
All right. We're going to jump into our first story. President Lee Jae-myung spoke about balanced regional development during a cabinet meeting yesterday.
Right. So this was the first full cabinet meeting at the Sejong government complex that took place yesterday. You addressed it. I'm going to address this particular part.
Yes.
Where President Lee Jae-myung named sustainable growth as the country's biggest task and balanced development as the biggest pillar for said growth. So he noted that the country has taken previously a strategy of imbalance, allocating scarce or limited resources to a certain part of the country for what it's created, a capital-centric system. And while that has been efficient in terms of numbers, its limits are starting to show.
Yes, and the president presented a new vision to offset this imbalance.
Right, so the strategy is 5 centers and 3 special provinces. So instead of having the capital area as the sole center of growth, the government will redistribute resources and have growth across 5 centers, including the capital area.
Yes.
And then also run Gangwon, Jeonbuk, and Jeju as 3 special self-governing provinces, or in Korean what we call 특별자치도. The president particularly named turning Sejong, as that's where the meeting was, into turning it into an administrative capital, 행정수도, as the cornerstone of balanced development, and pledged building a Sejong presidential office and the National Assembly in that city.
Yes. So that's what happened in the cabinet meeting yesterday. Moving on, let's talk about the Coast Guard, which is under scrutiny over the death of an officer. And this has left a considerable gap in its leadership.
Right. So this is, of course, pertaining to the investigation ongoing over the death of Coast Guard officer Lee Jae-seok,
Yes.
who died while he was not supposed to be, but on a solo rescue mission. And then following this, his fellow officers reveal that their chief allegedly ordered them to stay quiet because they needed to, quote, turn him into a hero. So the Coast Guard yesterday put Chief Lee Kwang-jin of Incheon Coast Guard on administrative leave, along with the head of Yongheung Precinct and the team leader who was on duty when this tragedy struck.
Right.
So the Coast Guard's investigation team also had to suspend its activities, and this is following orders from President Lee Jae-myung, who ordered for an independent investigation team to look into the case.
Yes.
And then at the very top on Monday, we reported that the Commissioner General of the Coast Guard, Kim Young-jin, offered his resignation, and this is only 7 months from the start of his term.
Yes.
However, despite his offer, it may actually take some time for the resignation to be processed. And the reason is because the second and third in command of the Coast Guard, those positions are actually currently vacant.
Oh.
Right. So this is actually as to why we go back to the December 3rd martial law imposition as kind of the catalyst that started this vacancy.
I
So
see.
Kim Young-jin was promoted from the Deputy Commissioner General position, so second in rank position, to the top job back in February.
Right.
However, the organization has been unable to fill that seat, the second in command seat, because of the fallout from martial law. Because usually the third person in command would get promoted. However, the third command in position is the Director General of Planning Coordination. He was actually dismissed for allegedly having colluded in the martial law imposition.
Oh, dear.
So if Kim's resignation is accepted and processed, leaving the top job empty, then there will, because the second and third jobs are empty, there will have to be acting chief. So the fourth person in command will have to step in as the acting chief. That's unprecedented and likely not going to happen. So given the circumstances, those in the know say Kim will have to be in that role for the time being.
Okay.
By the way, for that job itself, the Commissioner General of the Coast Guard is nominated by the Oceans and Fisheries Minister. That nomination is reviewed by the Prime Minister's office and finally appointed by the President. So it's a process that takes some time.
Yes.
The government is set to have ordered for the vetting reports of top Coast Guard officials to be submitted by yesterday so they can get the process started. In the meantime, the Coast Guard said that it is doing its best to ensure that no setbacks will be created in its duty of protecting the coastal sovereignty and keeping safety of the public. That's where we stand.
All right. That was a lot to digest.
Right.
Okay. Now we're going to take a look at the state of consumer prices in the country.
Right. So let's look at some individual food prices. We have figures from the month of August where a price of bowl of samgyetang, the whole chicken soup, in Seoul came to 18,000 won, 18,000 won.
Wow.
That's average. And if you go to some of the more famous places, it goes well over 2만 won, right? On average, these chicken soup prices went up by 2,500 won in the last 3 years. Jjajangmyeon prices, the black bean Chinese noodles in Seoul, also went up by 77 won to 7,577 won. By the way, it jumped well from the 6,000 won range well into mid 7,000 range starting last year. So
Yes.
that's definitely a big hit. Good news, kimbap, kalguksu, naengmyeon, cold noodles, bibimbap, and kimchi-jjigae prices stayed more or less the same. And also looking ahead to Chuseok, setting up the traditional chare table, if you shop at a traditional market, that'll be about 1% cheaper than last year. We often don't see prices going down. So if you shop, again, at a traditional market, that is.
Yes. Tommy mentioning he doesn't understand why people spend money on 물에 빠진 닭. Well, some people like samgyetang, so just saying.
It's good for your stamina. Your like
each his
overall
own.
health.
Yes. All right. Up next, the government is moving to expand pension payments for when young men are enlisted in the military.
Right. So this past March, the parliament passed the revisions to the National Pension Act, which recognizes up to 12 months of military service as the period during which one paid into the pension subscription.
Yes.
And that actually will go into effect starting next year. And the government is actually taking this one step further to cover the entirety of the conscription period, 군 복무 기간, under the pension payment. So this is according to the Health and Welfare Ministry's blueprint submitted to the parliament yesterday. It says that conscript soldiers in the Army and the Marine Corps will get 18 months of recognized pension payments. For the Navy, that would be 20 months. Air Force and substitute service, 21 months. So those are the full periods for full recognition.
Right. Well, this is also sort of recognition of how tough conditions are for young people.
Right, because underlying all of this is the fact that the age at which young people get their first job, that's becoming later and later. Only 24%, so less than a quarter of those in the 18 to 24 age group pay into the pension. So that shows that only a quarter of them have jobs that can help them pay into the pension.
Sure.
So that means 3/4, 76%, do not. But in the long run, individually, this late start creates a gap, and then that can ultimately take up to 30% off of your pension post-retirement. So this is seen as a major move to solve these structural issues.
I see. All right, for our final story, we're going to go to Israel and its war in Gaza.
Right, so a lot happening on this front. So Israel, as you mentioned, it has begun ground operations in Gaza on top of intensifying airstrike over Gaza City.
Right.
So in the meantime, though, so that we'll cover in the overview and spotlight news. In the meantime, diplomatic situation surrounding Israel has been deepening. So last week, Israel launched an airstrike. It struck Doha, the Qatari capital, saying that it was taking out Hamas leaders, which it failed to do so. However, upon this, leaders from the Arab and Islamic world met in Doha, and they condemned Israel's what they called cowardly attack on Qatar, as well as the ongoing genocide in Gaza. Speaking of which, in the most significant turn of events, an independent commission under the United Nations found that Israel is indeed committing genocide in Gaza. Again, this is according to their finding. So the International Commission of Inquiry, abbreviated to COI, accused Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and two other senior Israeli leaders of inciting genocide and said that there was clear evidence of their not only acts but genocidal intent, that they knew this was happening and this was intended to be so. However, Israel's foreign ministry said that it categorically rejected the report and actually even called for the COI to be abolished, adding that Israel was the one that was subject to genocide when Hamas attacked them on October 7th of 2023.
And to this end, the U.S. has come to Israel's defense.
Right, so we're not particularly speaking about the genocide accusations at this point, but going back to the strikes on Qatar, U.S. President Donald Trump, speaking at the White House, had repeated his assertion that Israel will not be attacking Qatar again. So the U.S. has tried to kind of strike this balance of defending Israel, but also not, severing ties with Qatar, which has been its longtime ally in the Middle East.
Right.
To that end, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio paid a visit to Jerusalem, where he said Israel has the Trump administration's full support. He was actually standing next to Benjamin Netanyahu when he said that Washington's priorities were the liberation of Israeli hostages and destruction of Hamas.
This strikes quite a different tone from the rest of the world, though.
Right. So with the genocide findings notwithstanding, Israel has been getting more and more isolated in the general international community. And what the BBC interestingly called that Israel might be approaching a South African moment. So what that is in reference to is going back to the so 1960s on to 1990s, when South Africa was imposing apartheid, which is a policy of racial segregation and discrimination enforced by the white minority in charge of the government.
Right.
Well, when this was happening, basically the whole of the international community was putting a lot of pressure onto South Africa. We're talking about not only political and economic measures, but also cultural sports-related boycotts on South Africa for it to abandon this policy. So to that end, bringing this situation back to Israel and Gaza, France and Saudi Arabia, they're co-hosting a meeting on Palestinian statehood during the upcoming United Nations General Assembly next week in New York. Yesterday, Luxembourg joined the list of countries, Australia, Canada, Belgium, and the UK, who said they're going to recognize the state of Palestine, although some under certain conditions. However, the big difference between this and the South African situation is the role of the United States, because the U.S.'s position is vastly different. Again, going back to Secretary of State Marco Rubio, he warned that the intended recognition of Palestine by several of U.S.'s allies will not make peace likely.
Yes. So, testy times. Well, thank you for going over all the top news. And of course, we'll have you in hour number 2. Thank you.
See you in a bit.
Everybody, this was Haley. In the meantime, let's get to our first song. This is Palette by IU.
이상하게도 요즘엔 그냥 쉬운 게 좋아. 하긴 그래도 여전히 거리는 음악은 좋더라. 핫핑크보다 진한 보라색을 더 좋아해. 또 뭐더라 단추 있는 파자마 립스틱 좀 지고선 장난들 I like it. I'm 25 날 좋아하는 거 알아. Oh I got this. I'm truly fine. 이제 조금 말 것 같은 날. 긴 머리보다 반드시 자른 단발이 좋아. 하긴 그래도 좋은 날 부를 땐 참 예쁘더라. 왜 그럴까 조금 촌스러운 걸 좋아해. 그림보다 빼곡히 채운 팔레트 일기 잠들었던 시간들 I like it. I'm 25 날 미워하는 거 알아. Oh I got this. I'm truly fine. 이제 조금 말 것 같은 날.
어려서 모든 게 어려워진 소리이면 서러워 꾸중만 듣던 저부지에 겨우 20곡에 넘어 기쁨도 잠시 어머 아프니까 웬 청춘이를 지은 아홉반은 말야 지금 막 서른인데 나는 절대로 안 해 근데 막 어른이 돼 아직도 한참 어렸는데 너보다 5살밖에 안 먹었는데 20, 30 아래 그 맘대로 right 해 해도 원한도 안해 night 때 그저 night 때 가장 찬란하게 빛이 나 어둠이 드리워질 때도 겁내지 마 너무 아름다웠어 혼이 활짝 웃어 언제나 사랑받는 날 yo.
일기 잠들었던 시간을 I like it. I'm 25 날 좋아하는 거 알아. Oh I got this. I'm truly fine. 이제 조금 말 것 같은 날 칼날이만 I like it. I'm 25 날 미워하는 거 알아. Oh I got this. I'm truly found. 이제 조금 말 것 같은 날.
BEFM Morning Wave in Busan Fall Outdoor Special Stage. Fall for English-friendly Busan. What does it mean to live in an English-friendly Busan? And what role does English play as Busan rises as a global hub city?
올 가을 여러분에게 영어하기 편한 도시 부산으로 가는 길을 안내합니다.
This fall, on September 27th, Saturday at 3 p.m., join us for a special outdoor stage event at F1963 Open Square, featuring a thought-provoking panel with a professional English educator, Lee Bo-young, British broadcaster Peter Bint, K-pop idol Aaron, and me, Catherine. Plus, enjoy a special live performance by Busan's English-friendly city ambassador Kim Jo-han and singer-songwriter Coffee Sonyeon. BEFM Morning Wave in Busan Fall Outdoor Special Stage. Fall for English-friendly Busan.
9월 27일 토요일 오후 3시 F1963 오픈스퀘어에서 여러분을 기다립니다.
It's time for Now Next. Guess who's here? Lian's here. How are you?
Good morning. Hi. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well too. Well, our text topic today.
Yes.
What is the last movie that you saw in a movie theater? And what's your favorite movie or theater snack?
Theater snack. The last one that I watched was F1 with Brad Pitt in it.
Everybody says how good it was. Was it?
You didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it.
You have to watch it only in the theaters.
Is it still in the theater? I don't know. It might be
if
too
it
late.
is, just you have to check it out because it's the sound effect, the OST soundtrack.
Everybody is
it's
raving
Brad
about
Pitt,
it.
in the huge screen, still so well managed. It's good. My favorite snack is I love the classic popcorn. You know, in Korea we always get the sweet or the
caramel
or the gosohan. I can't. I hate the sweet one. Just the goso.
The regular.
But then when I'm feeling like I need a little bit of a sweet, I heard Haley talk about sour gummies. Are we allowed to say the brand names?
No.
Okay.
You can describe.
In the U.S., I had my favorite sour jellies that I always got when I was still a kid. Which was the sour boy-looking character.
Oh, Sour Patch.
Pete something. Oh, yes. In the different colors. It's like a little boy with Oh, that was my favorite. They don't sell it in Korea, though.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I
love sour
loved in the
candy.
States, but it might be kind of divisive. I really like the red licorice.
Oh, I can't stand.
And the not the black
twisty ones?
Yeah, I like the twisty red ones, not the black ones. But because I just like the
texture?
the texture, the chewiness.
Oh, I see.
씹는 그 기분이 좋고, and it's quiet. My pet peeve.
Loud chewers.
Yeah.
In the theaters.
And then I always I'm swatting my roommate if he makes noise while
maybe you're swatting his mouth
fishing for the last of the popcorn. I always nudge him and I say shh.
Because it's so
소리가 크잖아요.
맞아.
Right? So I was nudge him. Yes. Anyhow. Yes, Leslie, that one. But,
yes.
the brand names.
We know
exactly.
Those are
yes.
our favorite.
So, by the way, speaking of movies, I do want to say rest in peace to Robert Redford, who is a legend in terms of acting and directing. There was news late breaking yesterday that he had passed away. And because, today's the opening day of Biff, and I didn't want to mention that for those of you who enjoyed his directing and his films. Robert Redford has passed away. All right. Now we're going to get into Now and Next. What's going on?
Yes. So let's start with a question like we always do, Catherine.
Okay.
Let me ask you if you still remember what your New Year's resolution were. Oh, and were you any success on that front?
Actually, this is the 1 year I had a New Year's resolution. It's always to be healthier and I've kept it this year. Because I've been more active.
May I ask, what was your resolution?
It was very simple and very general. It wasn't very specific, but I was just I need to be more active. I need to get back into exercising, which I've been doing, and I feel so much better.
Oh.
So this is the 1 year. I actually kept it.
Because you've kept things simple, I think, because it was a doable thing. For me, I'm like crushing my resolution and trying to do it as we're reaching the end of the year, which is reading books. But, so as summer is fading and we are edging towards the end of the year, there's something new staring online.
Okay.
The Gen Z, it's there, for the new resolutions to kick in, which is usually January. They're not waiting around for that. They're launching on various SNS websites what's called the quote-unquote Great Lock-In.
Lock-In?
The Great Lock-In.
Okay.
So basically, it's their promise with themselves that from the months of September through December, they're going to dedicate those months to really fulfilling the resolutions that they had made earlier this year. So it's all about, spending the 4 months trying to focus on their small goals and also personal growth.
So it's like I like it, the great lock-in. They're locking themselves in for kind of like the last, 그러니까 한국말로 스포트라고 하잖아요.
맞아,
the last 4 months of self-discipline.
Exactly. And this phrase lock-in, it doesn't literally mean we're going to lock ourselves in anywhere. Although you might need to do some certain things. Like for me, I have to lock myself in to read a book.
I see.
But it comes from gaming and sports. It means like in the gaming world, going all in, shutting out distractions. So for like example, if you have to choose a character in a game, I'm going to just lock in with this character and just try to beat all the bosses kind of thing. But here it's kind of reimagined as like a self-care kind of thing. So creators are posting their own checklists of what they're going to do to make this lock-in realized, which could, for example, could be I'm going to get a good 7 hours of sleep from now on, or 3 gym sessions a week, or, very simple things like more water, less fast food. So they put like a checklist on their Insta thing, and this is my entitled it the Great Lock-In.
Okay.
So this wellness thing is such a trend, right? I think it's in line with this. So it's basically we're not trying anything grand. Like I said, it's very, very trying to stay consistent with their small goals.
Yes.
But trying a bit harder as we're reaching the end of the year. And, it's all about momentum as well, right? Ending the year strong and not waiting for the next one to begin. And because people are sharing it online, it's becoming this communal thing where you posted, I posted, we encourage each other. And it's also, I did talk about how it's in line with the wellness trend. It is part of the wellness economy. The global wellness already tops $6 trillion in its market value and is expected to reach $9 trillion in in just a few years. So surveys show that a lot of the consumers now are considering wellness much more important than they did last year.
Yes.
So thus far, why they're prioritizing all this, affordable, flexible, well-being lifestyle into their life.
So I do have a question though. This kind of like wellness trend with, self-control and this whole locked-in philosophy. Might there be like some downsides to this? Because I'm thinking like if you have like, let's say, attainable goals.
Right.
It might be good. But then if it's like, I don't know, are there some downsides?
Yes. So psychologists warn that, if there's too much structure, without compassion for yourself, this goal, though it's well-intentioned, could backfire.
I like that phrase, a compassion for yourself.
Yeah, you need a little bit of love. You
for
know
yourself,
what I mean?
right?
Yeah.
Not just for others.
But 저는 채찍질 많이 하는 스타일이어가지고 I feel I fall guilty to this. Yeah. Which for me, I'm trying to cut down on exercising because I do
cut down.
Stop moving and just start like using your brain, which is like reading for me.
Yes.
So a clinical psychologist named Shana Shapiro argues that sustainable wellness comes from pairing discipline with self-kindness. Otherwise, the lock-in risks turning into another rigid prison for yourself. So the healthiest approach to go about this great so-called lock-in is just set gentle boundaries.
Yes.
Ones you can actually sustain. So it doesn't have to be anything grand. Just drink more water. but as you're drink more lukewarm water for you, Catherine, in the morning. We have her drinking ice or something, and I was like so shocked. Wow, in the morning.
Somebody gifted it.
Oh yes.
I couldn't say no. But also, I remembered another resolution was. Not that our family, we don't really order a lot of like delivery food anyway, but like I really wanted to cut down on it, not just for the fact that, you know, it might be unhealthy, but also like just like so many like plastic parts.
Oh,
and
yeah,
like,
that's the worst.
Right. So we have it down to maximum twice a month, sometimes even just once a month. So we really brought the numbers down. And so I'm kind of proud of that, the fact that we've been kind of sticking to that.
That's really good. I was going to say twice a week is pretty good.
For us, it's like maximum is twice a month. We try to keep it to once a month.
And can I ask what type of food that once a month may be?
Oh,
is
there's
it just
a lot of
typical
debate.
Chicken?
Yeah, there's a lot of debate, and we always vote
Because it's so precious, right?
right,
It's like
that one
once
time,
a month.
right? So it's like, it's my rule is it's something that I can't make at home. Like,
right.
like something that, you know, is difficult to make at home.
Yes.
Because like everything, I'm like, I can make that, or people, my family members say,
I can make it better.
Yeah. So.
Oh, that's a good rule.
그래서 그것도 힘들지만 I feel a little, you know. So, yes. Well, thank you for sharing in the whole lock-in idea.
Yes.
But I do want to move on to our next trend. What is it?
So the next one, there's been this rise of the dumb phone, or at least the dumber smartphone.
Oh.
So that's what I want to talk about.
We're not talking about flip phones?
We are not.
Okay.
Although they have been quite trendy these days,
Uh-huh.
right? For some time in the past couple of months, social media has been lighting up with people showing off their minimalist devices.
Oh.
Basically, it's their same smartphone, except for there's nothing in it. So there's no applications. So there's no scrolling going on because there's no applications.
Okay.
All they're using their phone is for just calls and texts. And for many, the trade-offs are too steep, so they go back. Because these phones, there's no GPS. They're getting rid of their camera function. So there's no FaceTime thing. Like, you know, you can't. No camera. So... Oh, yes. So these were the dumb phones. I'm sorry. Excuse me. These were the dumb phones that you could buy with none of the functions.
Okay.
But because people were thinking this is too much.
It's like too much,
like,
right?
그냥 이건 너무 심해. So there's a softer movement that engage, which is don't buy these dumb phones. Just use whatever you have, but strip it down. That's what I wanted to get at.
Strip it down.
Basically, it's deleting as many applications as possible. Social media, if you use it, limit the minutes on it. Or also, like, basically 30 minutes on max for instant thing is what you would do. Or you silence all the notifications on your phone.
All of them?
All of them. Maybe even including cutting. And your lock screen goes blank. Your home screen gets stripped down. And sometimes, did you know there's a function also both on both the app 사과 company
the two major companies that
you can make the screen go into grayscale.
Grayscale? So it's not dark mode, it's grayscale.
Like 흑백. So it's like so 답답해 to look at.
It's not like colorful.
It's
and
not
pretty.
colorful, like, you know, the everything is black and white. So it makes your phone look very dull and flat and discourages you from using it. So a lot of people are doing that too. They're purposely putting their smartphone
Are you
into.
doing it?
I've tried.
And?
답답해요. I need my colors. I tried and I'm like, what am I seeing? What colors? You know, I'm not that into it yet, but that's what a lot of people are doing.
Interesting. So anything else to wrap up our segment today in terms of... Yes?
To wrap up already.
I know.
I'm like so thrown off because I have like so much prepared.
I know. But you know what? We can always... talk about it
Part 2 next week.
Part 2.
No, I guess That's the trend.
Yes.
I think we should end it at that note before we go on to another
Right, because we don't want to
subtopic.
rush through stuff,
Yes,
right? So we're
yes.
talking about like the whole locked-in trend, right? And also the dumber smartphone.
Yeah, we're dumbing down our smartphones.
Yes, to smarten us up, hopefully.
Yes,
But-
for our digital detox.
Well, thank you so much for bringing us these really cool trends. Maybe people can try it. If it's not for you, go back. So we'll check in with you next week. Thank you, Lian.
Bye-bye.
All right. So we have more in hour number 2, including tips for running. I know we have runners out there. It's a highly, highly popular thing right now. So definitely tune in for our special interview on that. And also, I'm sure if you're in our YouTube feed right now, you see the notice up there. But our listener survey is up and running because, we run this yearly to get your feedback on how we're doing, things we can improve on or things that you really like. We want to hear all about it. So you can go to our website, and I believe you can do it from your phone as well. So definitely we want to hear from you, the listeners. We're going to wrap up hour number 1 with Layla's song request. This is Popcorn by 도경수. Enjoy. I'll be back at 8.
처음 만난 그날의 장면 참 나답지 않던 그 떨림 무표정이 서있던 날 잊은 듯 맘 설레게 했던 예쁜 웃음 봄날처럼 포근한 눈빛 내 맘을 녹였던가 봐 두 눈에 씌워진 콩깍지처럼 너의 모든 순간이 예뻐 보여 그대가 내게 준 설렘이죠 처음 그날처럼 그댈 보면 행복해져 떨림을 잊었던 마음도 터질 듯 설레 마치 팝콘 달콤해진 맘이 매일 팝콘처럼 튀는 느낌 달디던 당신의 말도 터질 듯 설레 마치 팝콘 매일의 새로운 면도 어느새 익숙한 면도 사랑스럽게만 보이는 마음 당신과도 나누고 싶은 이 마음 뻥하고 터질 것 같은 기분 처음 그날처럼 그댈 보면 행복해져 떨림을 잊었던 마음도 터질 듯 설레 마치 팝콘 달콤해진 맘이 매일 팝콘처럼 튀는 느낌 달디던 당신의 말도 터질 듯 설레 마치 팝콘 믿을 수 없어 매일같이 행복해져 둘만의 모든 순간도 터질 듯 설레 마치 팝콘 사랑이란 벚꽃잎이 걸음마다 휘날리지
안녕하세요. 현대해상 모델 이정재입니다. 70년 현대해상의
시민의 행복이 쌓여갑니다. 이 캠페인은 행복도시 부산의 가치를 높이는 부산시설공단이 함께합니다.
혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, B&K 부산은행과 함께합니다.
Welcome to Busan. Let me show you around. Here you can find the world's largest musical in-ground fountain and the world's only UN memorial cemetery. Stroll along the coast and explore the largest mountain fortress in Korea. As well as all this, there are so many tourist attractions, beautiful exhibitions, vibrant culture, convenient facilities, and delicious foods unique to Busan. With all the beauty and charm of the amazing city of Busan, you'll find yourself right at home in this ever-changing tourism paradise. So stay with us a while. Busan, your #1 tourist destination. Your home, away from home. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM, Busan 영어방송.
The time is now 8 o'clock.
It's now 8 o'clock. This is hour number 2 of Morning Wave in Busan. This is Spotlight News. Court approved arrest warrant request for PPP lawmaker Kwon Sung-dong. Seoul Central District Court approved the arrest warrant for People Power Party lawmaker Kwon Sung-dong for his alleged role in orchestrating relations between the former Yoon Suk-yeol government and the Unification Church. The judge cited risks of Kwon attempting to destroy evidence. The special counsel reportedly presented evidence including notes and photos showing that the lawmaker allegedly received political funding in exchange for influence peddling, while Kwon denied the charges. This marks the first arrest of a sitting lawmaker in the 22nd National Assembly after the parliament last week voted to pass the motion to arrest. Presidential office presents policy tasks. Lee says power comes from the people. President Lee Jae-myung convened a cabinet meeting yesterday where he called on his new cabinet ministers to not mistake their authority or powers as their own, but that they come from the people. The cabinet also confirmed the 5-year blueprint for governance, including 123 national tasks under the vision of a country owned by the people, where everyone is happy together. The top priority includes amending the Constitution to implement a 4-year 2-term system with runoff voting. Reform measures also include prosecutorial reform, preventing military involvement in politics, and media reform across public broadcasters. Prime Minister says $350 billion investment to the U.S. may require parliamentary ratification. Prime Minister Kim Min-seok said that the ratification may be necessary to fulfill the government's $350 billion pledge to the U.S. once the negotiations are completed during a parliamentary interpellation session yesterday. He said while the deal may not explicitly require parliamentary approval, he believes the government should take steps to get the legislature's agreement on financial matters in line with the Constitution. Parliamentary parties also clashed over the Lee Jae-myung administration's diplomacy, specifically over the detention of some 300 South Korean workers in Georgia. Prime Minister Kim said that while he regrets the incident, the root of the issue should have been resolved under the previous administration. Police disclose identity of Seoul stabbing murder suspect. The Seoul Metropolitan Police yesterday released the name, information, and mugshots of the suspect who allegedly stabbed 3 people to death at a pizza shop in Gwanak-gu District, Seoul, earlier this month. The suspect is 41-year-old Kim Dong-won, with photos posted on the agency's website until the end of the month. Kim allegedly killed a 49-year-old employee of a pizza franchise headquarters, as well as a 60-year-old and 32-year-old father-daughter interior contractor team at a pizza store he has run for the past 2 years. The suspect was apparently in a dispute with the victims over the store's interior decoration construction. Israel launches grand offensive in Gaza. Israel began its grand offensive in Gaza City on Tuesday local time, with tanks and remote-controlled armored cars taking over the streets with hundreds of thousands of civilians still in the city. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the goals of the offensive were defeating the enemy and evacuating the population, with the Israel Defense Forces estimating that about 3,000 Hamas and allied fighters will meet them. In the meantime, a UN commission has found that Israel is committing genocide in Gaza, calling on member nations to punish those responsible. This was Spotlight News. It's time for Waglwagle, and we have our waggler, Haley. She's
hello,
here.
hello. In the flesh.
We're going to jump into our first story. Not a great one. The latest report on teenagers' drug usage is quite eye-opening.
Right. So this is according to the very first survey on teenager drug use. 1 in 100 said they have experience with drug usage. This is according to exclusive report by 중앙일보. Based on Health and Welfare Ministry survey released by People Power Party PPP lawmaker Choi Bo-yoon's office, this surveyed 1,800 people aged 14 to 24.
Yes.
So here, 12 men and 11 women responded that they have used illicit drugs, so 불법 마약. But the real number actually may be higher because, this is one of those fields that people tend not to be very honest because they fear punishment and retribution.
Right.
So in South Korea, experts say that the average unreported rate for drug usage is 28.57 times the response figure. So the actual drug usage rate may be far, far higher. But what was also shocking was at the average age at which teens responded that they first used illicit substances. Average was 13.2 years. So they have barely become teenagers.
Wow.
Literally, from 12 to 13.
This is not for alcohol, which, by the way, you can't drink at that age.
Right.
Illegal substances. So what about for prescription drugs?
Right. So looking at prescription drugs, 처방약물, much higher usage for drugs like prescription painkillers, ADHD medication. So of the 205 people who said they used prescribed drugs, 75 out of 205 said that they've misused or abused them, which is 오남용. 2.5% said that they know friends or acquaintances that they have used illicit substances. And by the way, this is one of those friends type of a deal where experts do say for these illicit substances, people do tend to cover up their personal experiences as one of their friends.
Yes.
This was, by the way, not a full-fledged survey, sort of a pilot or beta test before before a full-fledged one. So experts say that there is kind of a manual circulating amongst teenagers on how to get prescriptions for and or misuse ADHD medication. Sometimes we refer to them as academic doping.
Yes.
Right? Or diet pills, which are not allowed to be prescribed to teenagers, specifically only for weight loss aesthetic reasons.
Yes.
The lawmaker who released these figures called on the health ministry to come up with measures.
And so a lot of people are kind of like shocked, right? To that end, online drug deals have become more prominent.
Right. So the National Police Agency released their data via Democratic Party Park Jong-hyun's office on drug crackdowns in the last 5 years. And the number of drug offenders, that's been going up consistently. About a third of them were in their 20s, followed by 22% in their 30s, and even 3.8% of teenagers. So to that end, as that age is getting younger and younger, the ratio of online drug deals has also been going up from 24% of all drug busts having been made online back in 2021, 31.6% last year. So far this year, 48%. So we're inching towards that halfway mark. So lawmaker Park, who released the figures, said despite the increase in drug-related crimes, 12 of the metropolitan city or provincial police offices don't even have dedicated drug investigation teams and called for strengthened online monitoring system and increased resources to combat this problem.
So yes, this is such a troubling issue. Okay, up next, we're going to go back to the assassination of U.S. conservative political activist Charlie Kirk. A memorial space has popped up in what some are saying is a very unlikely place.
Unexpected, definitely. A memorial altar for conservative youth leader Charlie Kirk has been set up on 숭례문 Square in Seoul. So a right-wing Korean youth group called 자유대학, which supports former President Yoon Suk-yeol, has put up this space. So it has a large photo and several other photos of the deceased Kirk, an American flag, flowers, and notes like "Make America Great Again" and "Make Korea Great Again." The group also released a eulogy in which they said Kirk spoke out about the importance of political participation and responsibility and spread values of freedom and democracy worldwide. And 3 of the group's members are on duty around the altar as kind of the host for this memorial. So this has triggered a lot of at least curiosity, to say the least, especially with foreign visitors to Seoul and mixed reactions, both domestic and foreign, some expressing surprise at this support for MAGA that they're seeing in South Korea.
Yes. As this is going on, the official memorial service for Kirk has been scheduled.
Right, so now we're going to go to the U.S. and the response to this assassination, which, of course, any loss of any life is a tragedy.
Yes.
A large memorial has been planned for September 21st local time at a stadium in Arizona. President Donald Trump is expected to attend, along with Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio. And this shows just that list how much of an influence Kirk had on the Trump administration.
Yes.
And how much this continues to be so. By the way, taking a little sidebar to the investigation itself, the suspected shooter, Tyler Robinson, has been officially charged with aggravated murder, amongst others. Prosecutors say they are seeking the death penalty.
And speaking of Kirk, the Trump administration has been reacting, we'll say, strongly to any criticism of Kirk.
Right. So, in fact, there have been reports of people getting fired for inappropriate comments they've made about Kirk's death. And this includes teachers, a Secret Service employee, journalists, and nurses, and the list goes on and on and on.
Okay.
And recently, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said that non-U.S. citizens, quote-unquote, celebrating the killing of Kirk will see their visas revoked, which means canceled. So this could be what some experts are saying, a concerning pattern of political division. Free speech activists have warned of this creating intimidation and a culture of fear, directing this anger at one's political opponents.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, Vice President J.D. Vance, actually, he guest hosted a podcast that Kirk used to host. And in it, he blamed, and without evidence, far-left groups for this violence and increased tolerance for violence while he was hosting this podcast. And he vowed that the Trump administration would work to dismantle the institutions that promote violence and terrorism in the country. And here's the thing. Political violence should be condemned and should be eradicated everywhere. However, some are pointing out that this is a strikingly different tone from the administration's response to the assassination of a Democratic state legislator and her husband in Minnesota over the summer.
Yes, yes. All right, moving on. A police officer on patrol accidentally caught a man with a big fine. A big fine. We're talking about overdue 440 million won. Really?
Right. I'm like, how do you even incur that much of a fine? All right, so this is according to the National Police Agency's official YouTube. A truck that was caught on patrol with 4억 4천만 원, 440 million won in fines. So the police, they usually run their safety patrols. You'll usually see a police car parked off to the side of the road or like in an intersection.
Okay.
And during this, police, they kind of use, instinct almost and, backed up data to run license plates of suspicious vehicles. Well, one officer, Peun-gyu at Ulsan Nambu Police, he has been on the job for 28 years, by the way. Something pinged in him.
Okay.
So he ran the plate of a pickup truck and saw this number, 440. And he was like, oh, like 400만 won, like 4 million won in fines. Like, oh, that's big. But then he did a double take. There were several other zeros.
Okay.
Wound up being 440 million won. So the officer also, veteran instincts kicked in. He felt like if he just started blaring the sirens and told him to pull over, that person might run.
Okay.
So he followed, pretending like everything was normal. He's on patrol. So when that pickup truck was stopped at a red light, the officer approached the vehicle not from the driver's side, but from the passenger's side. So all abundance of caution. He asked for permission to enter the vehicle and got into the passenger's seat, checked the driver's ID. Yes, that was the man who had a warrant out for him with 440 million fine to his name. He got the driver to pull over safely and apprehended him. So the driver had a criminal fine for an economic crime he committed earlier this year and had a warrant out for him. So there we have it.
At first, I thought the penalty was on his car, like he had speeding tickets.
And then it was
440.
accumulated fines as well, but the bulk of it was for the economic crime.
I see.
Right.
Wow. So, years on the job.
Yeah,
That's what
28 years
happens.
pays off.
All right, for our final story, some people really enjoy solo movie watching. Others go on dates.
Not me.
But this person brought their dog?
Also not me, but yeah.
Really?
Bringing your dog to...
Is that a thing?
Well, no, it shouldn't. Well, it was a thing. Let's not make it the thing. But this happened at a multiplex inside a large shopping mall in Suwon, Gyeonggi Province. This moviegoer who reported the case was sitting in the theater 2 minutes from when it started, was looking around and made eye contact with a white Maltese, a dog. Yeah, so no leash, no carrier, and the owner was just holding the puppy with the dog, just kind of looking around of like, what's going on? Where am I?
So let's go over the logistics. Is that allowed?
No.
Okay.
It is not. The multiplex said that dogs and pets are not allowed in theaters. Of course, it would be different had this dog been a service dog. But according to inquiries made to the organizations that train service dogs, service animals must wear vests or be marked otherwise. That dog did not have any markings saying so. Also, Malteses are not trained as guide dogs or service dogs. Also, that's not good for the dog either because loud sounds and flashing. We don't know what film it was, but the big screen with surround sound, that can be very stressful and very overstimulating for animals.
Right. Because I was going to say a Maltese as a service dog.
Yeah,
I don't see it.
With their temper, no offense.
And the yapping.
Yeah.
But thank you for all the Woggly news, and we'll be sure to check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Haley.
Have a great day.
All right, now we're going to turn to your updated traffic and weather. It's now 8:16. Here is what's happening on the roads right now. There is a 3-car collision on Gangbyeon-daero from Sasang to Hadan in lanes number 1 and 2, the first and second lanes. A car has broken down on Suyong Gangbyeon-daero from Senta Middle School to Banyo Overpass, right past the Suyong River Underpass. And next up, there is congestion on Mandok-daero from the Sukdong intersection to Deokjeon intersection. It's also slow moving on Byeonglo from the Daeyeon ramp to Gwangan Tunnel. And lastly, it's congested on Gwanmun-daero from Pangnam to Baekyang Tunnel. It is currently 26 degrees Celsius here in Busan. It's clear it's going to go up to 32. However, in the evening, we might have some showers. There is a heat wave impact preliminary report and a heat wave a special weather report in effect right now. Across the nation, it is raining, especially in the central region plus Jeonbuk, with heavy rain forecast for southern Gyeonggi and western Chungnam. And this was your traffic and weather. It's time for your special interview. So, despite the recent heat waves, enthusiasm for running in Korea shows no sign of abating, not slowing down. So it's now common to see people in, colorful sportswear jogging along sidewalks, around the riverside, or even on city streets. You've all seen them, right? So according to the survey on citizens' sports participation, around 10 million Koreans are now active runners. So with this surge, demand for proper running gear has grown, and even Runstagram, that's like a trend on social media, making running look cooler than ever. I'll be honest, I've just begun. I wouldn't call myself a runner. A slow jogger maybe is better. But anyhow, I am definitely want to know what we need to know to be safe out there, to avoid injuries, to stay healthy, and enjoy this running. So we're going to hear expert tips on just how to do this. We have joining us today Minju Kim, who is a sports physiotherapist and sports biomechanist. She's joining us right now. Hi, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me, Catherine. I'm genuinely delighted to be here.
Yes. So to begin, why do you think people are so passionate about running these days? And after that, if you could tell us, what's so good about running?
Yeah, the popularity of running has increased during and after the COVID-19 pandemic around the world. However, it definitely seems that running has captured the attention of many Koreans, in particular to the extent that it's now even difficult to register for marathons. I believe people have come to realize that running is a highly accessible sport that can be enjoyed both individually and socially. On top of that, innovations in running footwear, which is the only gear for this sport, has made running even more enjoyable. If you think, 10 years ago, we had only a few brands to choose.
Yes.
Right? But now Koreans have a wider variety of brands and styles, so running becomes more popular and even trendy. In terms of benefits to running, first, as many of your listeners likely already know, it has a well-documented physical health, particularly for cardiovascular health.
Yes.
Meaning the health of your heart and blood vessels. And neurocognitive health, which refers to the brain's capacity to perform cognitive functions like thinking, memorizing, and concentrating. Running is also beneficial for your mental health. Depression or anxiety can decrease when people get engaged in regular running.
Well, thank you for going into the basics, the ins and outs of why people might really enjoy this and how they can benefit. So, Minju, for beginners, what's a good way to start out? For me personally, I started out walking and then walking briskly, and then I kind of worked my way up. Did I do it correctly, or is there a better way to do it?
Oh, that's perfect way.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, when we as researchers in running science categorize people as a beginner, we typically refer to individuals who have been running for less than a year with a weekly mileage around 10 to 15 kilometers. However, I don't recommend aiming for 10 kilometers per week right from the start, right? So the ideal starting point really depends on your prior experience with physical activities. Like you can, if you are new to running, I recommend starting with 5 to 7 sets of 2-minute walking, 1 minute running, and gradually progress to 3 minutes of walking and 5 minutes running to help your body adapt to the new activity at least 1 week.
Yes.
Eventually, aiming for 5 minutes or 3 kilometers of continuous running.
That's really, I think, important, like to start with maybe like intervals and slowly work your way up, right?
Yes. Because your body needs some time to adapt to that intensity. So, yeah.
Right. Well, I also want to ask you this. What are some of the most common mistakes runners make that can lead to injuries?
Yeah, the most common mistake I see among runners is mismanaging their training loads. The majority of injured runners ran too much too soon. So let's think about a seesaw, okay? So one end is the training load you place on your body. And then the other end is the capacity of your body to deal with the load, okay?
Yes.
And then most running injuries occur when the training load is exceeded the capacity of your body. So without proper preparation, some runners attempt a full distance marathon within a year, covering high weekly mileage in training, and then racing the full marathon. So unfortunately, many of these runners end up as patients in orthopedic clinics.
Oh no.
Yeah. And another misconception is that runners should only run. So I'm aware most of runners prefer only run rather than having a weight training with that. However, around 80% of running injuries are overuse injuries. So to prevent that overuse injuries, you need a certain level of leg muscle strength to absorb the impact with every step during the run. So good news is you don't need too much. So just include weight training for lower body 2 days per week. That would be sufficient.
Oh, thanks for pointing that out. What a great tip. Let me ask you this. Is running suitable for everyone? Because for people who've never tried it, they might be thinking, oh, it's not for me. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, running is very fundamental human movement. So our body are structurally well designed for running. For example, Achilles tendon or plantar fascia.
Yes.
So I want your listeners not to fear running related injury too much because it really depends on how you run and then how intense and frequency you gradually increase.
Yes. And I do also want to ask you about the proper running form or posture. Like, what is this supposed to look like? Because when I first started out, like, even with the brisk walking, I would kind of like gauge and look around to see like more seasoned kind of, everyday athletes out there who were doing it in front of me. So it was kind of like hard to determine, like, should I be pumping my arms? Should I not be? So what's the proper running form?
Yeah, in terms of upper body, you should stay relaxed and then just swing your arms gently front and back. Yeah, not just side to side or by wiggling your shoulders like this, right? Okay. But the most important thing is your trunk. So it is better for you to lean forward slightly. Because yes, so not too much, like sit-ups, right? So slightly forward, because running is eventually continuous forward hopping. So if you lean back while running, 2 problems occur. First, you increase your air resistance, right? So the more your body exposed to the air, the more air resistance you're gonna face. Second, if you lean forward, then your foot will land close to your body. So when your foot lands too far from your body, it is called overstriding. Greater braking force occurs, especially on the knee. So that's because the muscles at the front of your thighs are responsible for slowing you down before taking the next step. So you better land your foot, whichever which strike you're doing. It should be very close to your body.
Okay.
Yeah, there's another myth actually about the heel strikers. Runners who land their heels first. They, old knowledge that they are more prone to running related injuries, but it is outdated knowledge. So you should choose whichever feel most comfortable.
Okay. So those are great tips. Now, what about the breathing? So, for example, are you supposed to be breathing in through your nose and out of your mouth, or just breathing through your nose? Or how are we supposed to be breathing?
Yeah, breathing is really important during running since our organs need oxygen to perform properly, right? So improving breathing efficiency may influence your endurance and physiological state of running. So for the short distance like sprinting, you may hold the breath for a while for your performance, but it is impossible for endurance running. So I recommend runners to breathe through the nose, not through the mouth, since mouth breathing can cause dryness and increase thirst. So it is better for you to develop your own rhythm of breathing. So I can recommend several things. Examples can be 5-step patterns. So inhale for 3 steps and then exhale for 2 steps. Or 3-step pattern, inhale for 2 steps and then exhale for 1.
Okay. These are really useful tips. People on our board saying how useful this is. And what about like pace? I know that for every kind of level of running, there might be a different pace, but is there like a healthy range, an optimal range for pace?
Yeah, pace depends on your experience in running. But nowadays with wearables, runners are able to easily monitor their heart rate and pace at the same time. And the heart rate is a good metric to check for measuring your physiological demand of running. So for jogging or comfortable running, it is better for you to target 80% of your maximum heart rate, and then you can estimate your maximum heart rate based on 220 minus your age. So for example, if you are 50 years old, your maximum heart rate would be around 170. And then for the jogging or comfortable running, you need 80% of your maximum running. So if your maximum heart rate is 170, then 80% will be 36 BPM. So you target 136 BPM for your jogging and comfortable running. However, wearables still produce errors, and heart rate can be influenced by other factors outside of physiological training loads, such as daily stress or hormonal changes if you are in menopause. So if you're experienced, you can track heart monitor, but you can combine heart rate monitoring with subjective measures such as how hard you're breathing or how hard you're struggling during running.
I see. And as we finish up our conversation today, as we wrap up, do you have any final tips? Anything you really want runners or maybe beginner runners? Any tips for us?
Yeah, I found runners, especially beginners, mainly focus on making their running form ideal or perfect. However, over the last 5 years, increasing research has studied other risk factors for running injuries, such as psychosocial aspects, including exercise addiction or perfectionism, and psychological aspects like lower energy availability. And a high percentage of both elite and recreation runners experience low energy availability due to poor sleep, poor stress management, and strict diet. And this leads to running-related injury, especially bone structure injury like fractures. And that is crucial to older people. So because running requires a substantial amount of fuel, we need to ensure to have available energy all the time, not only for running, but also recovery and overall health.
You gave us such good information today, and our board is lighting up with, compliments saying it. Thank you so much for giving us some great information today. So we wish you the best. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Catherine.
This was Minju Kim once again, and I don't know about you, I was taking notes. I'm sure many of you were taking mental notes as well on how to really get the best out of running. And we're going to take a song break right now. This is Runaway Baby by Bruno Mars.
Yes. Well, looky here, what do we have? Another pretty thing ready for me to grab. But little does she know that I'm a wolf in sheep's clothing. 'Cause at the end of the night, it is her I'll be holding. I love you so, hey, That's what you'll say. You'll tell me, baby, baby, please don't go away. But when I play, I never stay. So every girl that I meet, yeah, this is what I say. Run, run away, baby, before I put my spell on you. You better get away, darling, 'cause everything you heard is true. Your poor little heart will end up alone, 'cause Lord knows I'm a rolling stone. So you better run away, baby. Yeah. Well, let me think. What should I do? So many eager young bunnies that I'd like to pursue. Now even though they're eating out the palm of my hand, there's only one carrot and they all gotta share it. I love you so. Hey, that's what you'll say. You'll tell me, baby, baby, please don't go away. But when I play, I never stay. So every girl that I meet, yeah, this is what I say. Run away, baby, before I put my spell on you. You better get away, darling, 'cause everything you heard is true. Your poor little heart will end up alone, 'cause Lord knows I'm a rolling stone. So you better run away, baby. See, I ain't tryna hurt you, baby. No, I just wanna work you, baby. Yup. See, I ain't tryna hurt you, baby. No, I just wanna work you, baby. If you scared, you better run. You better run. You better run. You better run away, baby, before I put my spell on you. You better get away, darling, 'cause everything you heard is true. Your poor little heart will end up alone, 'cause Lord knows I'm a rolling stone. So you better run away, baby.
BEFM Morning Wave in Busan Fall Outdoor Special Stage. Fall for English-friendly Busan. What does it mean to live in an English-friendly Busan? And what role does English play as Busan rises as a global hub city?
올 가을 여러분에게 영어하기 편한 도시 부산으로 가는 길을 안내합니다.
This fall, on September 27th, Saturday at 3 p.m., join us for a special outdoor stage event at F1963 Open Square, featuring a thought-provoking panel with a professional English educator, Lee Bo-young, British broadcaster Peter Bint, K-pop idol Aaron, and me, Catherine. Plus, enjoy a special live performance by Busan's English-friendly city ambassador Kim Jo-han and singer-songwriter 커피 소년. BEFM Morning Wave in Busan Fall Outdoor Special Stage. Fall for English-friendly Busan.
9월 27일 토요일 오후 3시 F1963 오픈스퀘어에서 여러분을 기다립니다.
It's time for Work in Progress. We have Jennifer here for this segment. Let's say hello first. Hi.
Good morning.
How are you?
What a beautiful morning.
I know. And so, without mentioning names, but you said you mentioned you saw someone you knew who was out running. So were you running as well, or were you walking?
I was fast walking.
Walking briskly, which actually many experts seem, from what I've read, they say that's really good too. So it's
these days there are so many joggers.
Definitely. Yeah. So you might run into people. So hence, when I go out, at first I tried running with a mask, and that was just not good because I couldn't breathe well. Because I was like, what if I run into somebody I know? So I started wearing the hat.
Wearing a hat, me too.
써서 혹시나. So, if you see me out and about running, just ignore me. Yes. Don't say hi. Not my best moment. Well, let's talk about our text topic first, because today is the opening day for the Busan International Film Festival.
Oh, is it today?
It is today.
Wow.
And of course, we're a city of cinema. So we want to ask you, what is the last movie you saw in a movie theater? And What's your favorite theater snack?
Oh, theater snack.
Okay, that's easy, right?
That's easy. The last one I remember, I saw a movie starring Brad Pitt. F1? Yeah.
Oh, that's like a popular. Everybody's been saying, "Oh, go see it, go see it." Yes.
Oh, so exhilarating.
Uh-huh.
And my favorite snack, of course, has to be popcorn, the original.
The original,
Yeah.
not the caramel.
No.
Oh, okay. So now we have a better idea of what Jennifer
Yeah.
likes. We're gonna jump into our segment. What do you have for us?
Okay, today I came with a topic that both is serious and increasingly relevant.
Oh.
Mental health in the workplace. Burnout, stress, and even clinical conditions are no longer private issues. And they are shaping how we work, how companies organize, and how society views employment.
Yes. So this is a major shift, though, because in years past, and maybe a little bit still now, like mental health, it was something people didn't really like to talk about. It was kind of like, is it private? Should we even be talking about this? Kind of like that.
Yeah, people hesitated like talking about it openly. In Korea especially, there used to be a strong stigma. People worried that if they admitted to stress, depression, or panic symptoms, they'd be seen as weak or incapable.
Oh.
But that's starting to change.
Yes, I think it's a good thing, definitely. That for, younger generations, younger people in particular, they might expect workplaces to care more about well-being, maybe not just performance. And it's quite different from maybe our generation.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes, and you mentioned the word burnout, right? So maybe we should start there. Could you explain a little bit more about burnout for our listeners? Maybe have a general idea, but, just a refresher.
Yeah. Just a reminder.
Yes.
Burnout isn't just being tired. People confuse like fatigue and burnout. It's a little bit different. Oh, it's a lot different. The World Health Organization classifies it as a workplace syndrome, emotional exhaustion, cynicism toward your job, and reduced effectiveness.
Okay.
Think of it as the battery running out. Mentally, emotionally, and even physically.
Right, because we all know by now it's all interconnected.
Yeah, you want to do nothing. Yeah.
So it does seem quite common. We hear people saying like, "Oh, I'm burned out."
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, surveys show record levels of burnout among workers worldwide, especially after the pandemic blurred boundaries between home and work.
Yes.
In Korea, a recent poll found that nearly 6 out of 10 employees reported significant burnout symptoms.
Wow.
6 out of 10. That's
60%.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of alarming. What are companies doing about this?
Well, burnout is becoming a mainstream topic. Companies are offering mental health days, flexible schedules, resilience workshops, and counseling hotlines.
Yes.
Many things. Some firms even provide quiet rooms or mindful apps as part of their employment benefits.
So it does sound like there has been progress made, but I imagine not all issues are as simple as, just saying like, basically, I'm burned out. I need to, get help, or I need to do other things to compensate for that.
Yeah, burnout is like these days so common. So people don't really hesitate talking about it.
Okay.
But we are also hearing more about panic disorder.
Oh, yes.
What we call 공황장애 in Korean. This condition is a bit more serious. It involves recurring panic attacks, sudden waves of fear with symptoms like a racing heart, dizziness, or even like shortness of breath. You cannot breathe.
Right.
For a long time in Korea, it was a taboo. But now celebrities and professionals are openly sharing their experiences. That visibility helps reduce stigma, encourages workplaces to take mental care more seriously, mental health care.
Right. I think I might have just shared this once, and I don't know, many of you probably don't remember, but I've never had panic disorder, but I had one panic attack about 10 years ago. There was an incident, and like I didn't know it was a panic attack at the time, but I was so uncomfortable, and I felt so bad that my family took me to the emergency room because I thought I was having a heart attack. That's what it felt like. Like to me, like I felt like I couldn't breathe, and even like underneath my eyes, I was kind of turning blue. So I thought it was a medical emergency.
Yeah.
And then the doctor, they ran the EKG. They're like, they go, no, you're not having a heart attack. This is a panic attack. So I was kind of like, Really? I was kind of shocked.
That was just one time, right?
It was just one time.
Okay.
It was a one-time thing, so that's why I'm saying I don't have panic disorder. But it's a scary experience.
Oh, it must be. Yeah.
Yes.
But when leaders and public figures admit, I've been through it, I've been there,
yes.
it sort of normalizes seeking help,
Yes.
right? And in the workplace, it makes it easier for employees to speak up before a small issue becomes a crisis.
And that's important, I think, because if it's a small hill and then it becomes like a mountain, like you don't want it to get to that point, right?
No.
Well, I do want to know, how does Korea compare globally compared to other like nations?
Well, in the US and Europe, employee assistance programs known as EAPs have been around for decades, for many, many years. Mental health days are becoming more accepted.
Yes.
Yeah. In Japan, stress check programs are required by law for companies with over 50 employees.
Oh.
Countries like Norway takes an especially supportive approach. Workers have access to counseling and therapy as part of the national health system.
Okay.
Korea is catching up. Yeah, but cultural barriers still remain.
Okay, so cultural barriers, aka stigma?
Yeah, exactly. In some cultures, stress is seen as part of like paying your dues. People worry about burdening others, so they hide it until it's too late. But
good.
as like awareness grows, companies are realizing prevention is smarter than like damage control.
Yes, that is true though. So what practical steps can workplaces take?
Well, here are a few things worth trying. First, normalize conversations. Train managers to check in with their teams, not just on deadlines, what you must do, but on well-being.
You know, I have to say, our producer,
okay,
she always, what I really appreciate of the many things, she like always asks like sincerely like, how are you? Are you okay?
She's such a caring person.
And then like if I'm feeling under the weather, she always like checks on me like later on during the day after like the show is well over. She's like, oh, I hope you're feeling better. And then like, it's like the little thing. 근데
it's
진짜
very
I really
sweet.
진짜 I appreciate it because it shows that like she's like thinking about me and she really cares about me, right?
Those little things really matter.
It really matters. To me, it matters anyway.
Yeah,
so,
it really
yes.
matters.
So, what else should we do?
Okay, second, set clear boundaries. Respect evenings, weekends, and vacation.
Sure.
And third, provide the real resources. Access to counseling, workshops, and medical support. Not just saying, oh, okay, go and find a self-help book and read it, you know.
Right. And then I know some companies are like on paper, they have this, right? Or in the manual book.
Just to show.
있는데, 그 진짜 있는 게 중요하죠. What about for individuals? So what can workers themselves do?
Well, we can build small daily habits. Short breaks, breathing exercises, journaling, or even a 5-minute walk during the day. And if symptoms like panic attacks or constant fatigue appear, don't brush them off.
Yes.
Talk to a professional. Early help makes a huge difference.
Okay. I think everything you said, I totally agree with. And I have to say, though, I think leadership is really important, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's
managerial positions and what they do and how they behave. Definitely. Leaders set the tone. If a manager brags about never taking a day off, 나 하루도 안 쉬고 열심히 일한다, then the team won't either, or they will
눈치 보잖아요.
눈치. Yeah. They won't feel comfortable talking about it. But if leaders model healthy boundaries, logging off on time, taking mental health days, it sets a powerful message that well-being is valued.
And I think this is what you said about the whole, like, if the manager or the team leader, if they're like, they really love their job, but, it's like they never take a break. And it's so difficult. It's like, can I take a vacation? Like, in the I'm allowed to, but then like, should I?
You don't feel
That's
really
uncomfortable,
100%
right?
comfortable doing that, right?
So what about, Gen Z or maybe, the younger generation? Are they maybe helping to push this conversation forward?
I think they are doing much better. Gen Z in particular prioritizes work-life balance and psychological safety.
Yes.
They will openly question toxic practices. 예, 안 좋은 관습이 있으면 그걸 얘기를 좀 하는 것 같아요. 네, that sometimes clashes with the traditional mindsets,
Yes.
but it also drives positive change.
I agree. Absolutely. Because I love the fact that even at our station, we have a wide range of age groups, people from different backgrounds, people who have, grown up in other countries, people who have grown up here in Korea. So I feel like, we have a good balance going on here.
Yeah,
So as we wrap up today, what are the key takeaways for our listeners today?
Okay, from today, key takeaway is mental health at work is no longer optional. It's a must. Okay, burnout and disorders like panic disorder are real. Okay, but they are manageable if we approach them with openness and support. It's nothing to feel ashamed of.
Yes.
For companies, that means embedding well-being into culture, not just perks.
Yes.
It's more important than this material rewards. Yeah.
Absolutely.
For individuals, it means recognizing symptoms and not being afraid to seek help.
That's really key, though, that at the end, when you need help, you got to seek it out.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
And, if you're lucky, you have team members who might notice and they might ask. If not, I think it's up to you. You need to kind of seek and reach out for that help. So,
And one more thing, small act of kindness.
yes.
They really matter. They can make a big difference.
I agree. Well, what a great topic for our listeners as we are smack in the middle of the work week. So,
middle of the work week. Yeah, that's right.
And we look forward to next week as well.
Okay, will do. Bye-bye.
Everybody, this was Jennifer with Work in Progress. Tommy, who has been very open about his burnouts. He had 2 major burnouts, he says. So the healthcare center in his company, they actually call on him frequently, he says, to check to see how he's doing. So I know you work in a very stressful kind of situation with Tommy. He's always working on projects for a major company. So I can see it. And I feel that also looking at your messages, the teamwork, the push and pull, working as a team together, that's also important. And in terms of your favorite snacks, I see a lot on the board. I have to say, though, popcorn is coming up, I think, as number 1. However, whether or how it's flavored, that's all across the board. People have very strong opinions about the popcorn. And real short shout out to one of our young listeners, Sophia, who is turning 10. She's probably in school right now, but Sophia's Mommy, can you tell her we said happy birthday? So, yes, we're going to end it on that note. Final song for today is What Do I Know by Ed Sheeran. And join us tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
God gave me a stage, a guitar, and a song. My daddy told me, son, don't you get involved in politics, religions, other people's quarrels. I'll paint the picture, let me set the scene. I know when I have children, they will know what it means. And I'll pass on the things my family's given to me. Just love and understanding, positivity. We could change this whole world with a piano. Add a bass, some guitar, grab a beat, and away we go. I'm just a boy with a one-man show. No university, no degree, but Lord knows everybody's talking about exponential growth and the stock market crashing in their portfolios. While I'll be sitting here with a song that I wrote, saying love could change the world in a moment. But what do I know? Love can change the world in a moment. But what do I know? Love can change the world in a moment. The revolution's coming, it's a minute away. I saw people marching in the streets today. You know we are made up of love and hate, but both of them are balanced on a razor blade. won't you let me set the scene? I know I'm all for people following their dreams. Just remember life is more than fitting in your jeans. It's love and understanding, positivity. We could change this whole world with a piano, add a bass, some guitar, grab a beat, and away we go. I'm just a boy with a one-man show. No university, no degree, but Lord knows everybody's talking about exponential growth and the stock market crashing in their portfolios. While I'll be sitting here with a song that I wrote, saying love could change the world in a moment. But what do I know? Love can change the world in a moment. But what do I know? Love can change the world in a moment. I'll paint the picture, let me set the scene. You know the future's in the hands of you and me. So let's all get together.
Your best choice. BEFM 부산 영어 방송.
English with
부산 아줌매.
우리 소상공인 사장님들